Most people assume that you need passion first before you build a career. But sometimes the most important work finds you in the middle of a crisis. I mean, if you had told me years ago that I would build my work around agriculture, I probably would have laughed, trust me. Oh my God. But, the truth is this: I never actually planned to work in this sector. And somehow I still ended up getting both a diploma and a degree in agriculture, which honestly is very funny to me when I think about it right now. Because passion was not what brought me here initially. Okay, but COVID 19. I'm sure we all know what happened during that time. That period changed the way I saw agriculture completely, like literally, because during the lockdowns, food suddenly became a serious issue everywhere. Prices were increasing, movement became difficult, and even people who had money, right, sometimes struggled to get access to food. Hmm. I remember sitting down and thinking about this whole thing. You know, what are farmers going through right now? How are the people that are producing food surviving through all of this? How are they selling? You've gone to the farm, you have your produce. How are you selling? How are you feeding your family? I mean, these are the questions that kept coming up. And that was the first time agriculture stopped feeling, distant to me. I I started realizing how connected agriculture is to our everyday life and survival. And while thinking about all of these things, another realization also hit me, right? Something else came to mind. There are so many people that are doing good work, important work across agriculture, but most people barely understood what these people were doing. Now, I'm talking about the farmers, I'm talking about organizations that have, set up businesses to do great things, development practitioners. These are people that are solving real problem across the sector. But many of those stories were not being properly told. And that became, very interesting to me. Very, very interesting to me because even though I didn't study communication formally, I knew, right, that communication mattered. Communication was very important for us in this sector. And I knew that people needed to understand the work that is happening inside agriculture better, not someone else telling the story. And honestly, that was really where my journey into agriculture communication started. Whew. And that was also how Let's Talk Agriculture began. At that time, I felt like even if I wasn't contributing directly through production, just just maybe, right? Just maybe I could contribute by helping tell the stories shaping the sector. So I started the podcast, the signature Let's Talk Agriculture podcast. And from there, things just kept growing. Everything was progressing. Over the years, I've now spoken with founders, organizations, policymakers, agritech operators, sustainability leaders, and different people across the agriculture industry globally. It's been rewarding for me. And I can tell you that one thing I kept noticing repeatedly was that a lot of the important work that is being done across agriculture is still poorly understood. Mhm. And it is not because the work is not good, right? It is not because the businesses are not valuable, but because many organizations are still struggling, right, to communicate who they are, what they do, why their work matters, and why people should trust them. So it's I mean, this is just where I feel like communication becomes very important, because you should be able to tell people what you do clearly. And I would like to point that communication is not just about social media. Communication is not just about posting content every day. Mm-mm. Communication to me is really about clarity. It's about helping people clearly understand your work. Very important, because when people clearly understand the work that you do, you find out that opportunities will open differently for you. Partnerships, they become a lot more easier, and trust becomes easier because you're constantly communicating, and visibility that you always look for, it becomes meaningful, tied to your work. Now, that's something I've personally seen happen over and over again through the work that I've been doing up to this point. And I think that's one of the reasons why I care deeply about communication in agriculture right now. Because you see, there's just so much work happening across this sector. But important work alone is not enough. You see, people need to understand the work that you do. And that understanding, you see, can completely change the opportunities that come to you as a business owner, as a founder, or as an organization. Okay, so yes, that's really how this journey started for me. And honestly, I think that we are still just getting started. Welcome to Beyond Visibility.